The role of global and regional policy objectives. This section of the MOOC looks at the role of global and regional policy objectives in shaping the cities we want to see in Africa. Here, we introduce the Sustainable Development Goals and the African Union's Agenda 2063 as important levers for urban development. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, also known as the Global Goals, are a set of 17 goals that were adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. They are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Achieving the SDGs requires the collective efforts of governments, civil society, the private sector, as well as individuals. The 17 SDGs are integrated. They recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes in others, and that development must balance social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Of utmost importance for the SDGs is to leave no one behind, and countries have committed to prioritize progress for those who are furthest behind currently. While all of the 17 goals are important for sustainable and just futures, 3 stand out as crucial for African cities to consider. Goal 11 is important because it provides a framework for developing sustainable urban policies and plans to address the challenges of rapid urbanization, rising inequality, and the impacts of climate change and adverse weather events. African cities struggle with high levels of unemployment, and many people live in poverty, which was exacerbated by COVID-19. Goal 1, which is oriented towards the eradication of poverty, is crucial to shape cities that are livable. Goal 1 calls for universal access to basic services such as healthcare, education, and sanitation, which all help to improve the health and well-being of those making a life in African cities. Poverty is often linked to inequality, with certain groups of people, such as women, children, and ethnic minorities, more likely to experience poverty. It is for this reason that Goal 5 focuses on achieving gender equality. Goal 5 calls for the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women and girls. It calls for the extension of economic opportunities to ensure access to quality healthcare, education, and other basic services, and ending all forms of violence against women. The Sustainable Development Goals need to be considered alongside regional objectives and aspirations. The African Union's Agenda 2063 is a strategic framework for the socio-economic transformation of Africa over the next 50 years. This agenda acknowledges the importance of urbanization in driving economic growth and development, and it sets out a vision for the future of African cities. Specifically, Agenda 2063 emphasizes the need for sustainable urbanization that is based on the principles of inclusiveness, resilience, and sustainability. It recognizes the challenges that come with urbanization, such as environmental degradation, social inequality, and infrastructure deficits, and it calls for policies and strategies to address these challenges whilst promoting economic growth and social development. The agenda calls for the development of adequate infrastructure and services such as transport, energy, water, and sanitation to support the growth and development of African cities. The agenda emphasizes the importance of sustainable urban planning, which takes into account the needs and aspirations of all urban residents, including its marginalized communities. It calls for better governance and management of African cities, including effective public-private partnerships and the promotion of citizen participation in decision-making. The agenda recognizes the potential of urban areas as centers of innovation and entrepreneurship,